Welcome to Monday. I've been so looking forward to this because Brackett got to come in as the American farmer.
You can't see for that big old head of cabbage?
That big old head of cabbage, and I'm representing the American trucker. The food chain in America starts in the fields. It starts in your home gardens. It starts anywhere you can have a little plot of land and plant something to help feed your family or to feed America. The American trucker then delivers the produce. Today, a trucker coming out of California will be paid approximately $7,200 to bring a load of produce from the fields of California to the Atlanta Farmers Market with a little stop in Miami. Okay, from California to Miami, from Miami reload and come into Atlanta. That is a long, long journey for the produce that will then end up on your table. A lot of dollars involved, a lot of hours involved, a lot of hard labor. And I'm going to talk about something that'll probably, somebody won't like this. But today, American fields have produce that is going to be pricier than before. It is going to rot in the field because of the new law that, you know, we all don't want anybody to get something for nothing, but the new law that will change the migrant workers' status means that a box of tomatoes at the farmer's market today will be $12. If in July, when this new law goes into effect, the immigrants leave because they might not have the correct papers, then that means tomatoes will go to $20 a box, and many tomatoes will sit in the Georgia hot fields in South Georgia and rot. The American farmer has needed that help for many, many years, and I don't know how we can fix this problem. I don't know who we can find to do the back-breaking picking of all these vegetables, because you have planted a few seeds now, haven't you? Some corn and beans.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
I didn't even know what it was.
That's what it was. He had never been physically standing in a garden doing the work until about 4 weeks ago. You've
Not
now
true.
seen. Now, okay, tell me what you did.
I planted a 10 by 10 of turnip greens.
Okay, all right. So you had
The
done
bushiest
something.
turnip greens I ever seen.
But are you surprised that in 4 weeks, from just putting out the seeds, all the stuff that's already coming in?
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch. It is amazing. It is amazing.
And didn't bog around and get a little rain this weekend, so I imagine it's...
I hope, because it needed it big time.
Yeah.
We're going to have canning versus canning. Now, I am a glass jar canner because I always wanted my pantry to have all these pretty jars in it. So when people come in, they go, "Oh, Lord, you've just worked and how pretty that is." When in reality, this is the way to go. This is usually cheaper. It is much, much easier. You can can 5 bushels of beans in 1 hour using this method, and you can go to the Fannin Cannery, and they've had all kinds of upgrades, and they can really do it for you, or you can stay at home and sweat like a dog.
What is that?
This is green beans that Joyce Bryson gave us. She and Pauline canned these. But this is the way to go if you're doing volume. Unless you really have a lot of jars and you've already made your jar purchase, because the jars are a little bit pricey. But you reuse the jars. And I can't remember what the cost this year is going to be of the metal cans, but today we're going to talk American farmers who have, many women are now learning to do their first garden. And we're going to talk to a young lady who's only done a few gardens, but she is like the gardening queen. And it's because she learned from the gardening queen bee. I mean, she learned from broken ground Dorothy Hightower. When you learn from the best, you kind of overdo, and we can say, is that cabbage kind of overdone? Is that a big one?
I'd pick it up and show it to you, but I don't know if I could or not.
That
That's
is one head of cabbage that came out of Don's garden.
That'd make a lot of slaw, wouldn't it?
That'd make a whole lot of slaw.
A lot of kraut.
A lot of kraut. And we have a variety of things here. We have pear relish that Gail Ray and I made. We have blackberries that were picked. This is like my last jar of blackberries, so it's almost like liquid gold to me. We have kraut that is in the works.
Now back up just a little bit.
What?
Go back to the pear relish.
Pear relish.
What was you saying about that?
Gail and I did that at her house.
You helped?
Yes, I helped.
What'd you do?
I went there and diced and chopped and stirred. That was a little bit of help.
So this is not the one you got the other day?
No. The one I got the other day is on the front row. It's front and center. It's the one with cucumbers.
You're talking about this? What are you
Yes.
talking? Okay.
That's pear relish.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you even tasted that?
No, I don't think so. No.
Oh, Lord, I love it. But you have to get the old-timey pears. So you have to look out for those old-timey pear trees. And then you have to find out who owns the property. And then you have to knock on the door and say, I guess you think I'm an idiot, but if you're not going to use those pears, could I please have them? Because to make pear relish, you can't walk in the store and buy those really good, juicy eating pears. You got to have the hard, knotty, old-timey pears. That stuff is to die for. Next, we have some of Dorothy Hightower's goodies, and on the end, we have something that some of you may never have done. I've never made homemade kraut, nor will I. Because I have a feeling you would like the store-bought better. I have this feeling there are two things that I've learned hard to do. Hominy, which is front and center. Homemade hominy sounds like a whole lot of trouble. You got to cook it, wash it, cook it, wash it, cook it, wash it. That thing, you're wore out by the time you get that stuff done. Kraut is hard work, and it takes about 6 weeks to make. It kind of ferments.
Did you mention those figs?
No, but we're going to talk about those figs. We had a huge fig bush at Harris Farm, and it had been there for years and years and years, and the winter of 2000 killed it. Been there forever and ever and ever. And figs are one of those things you either love them, Hans Rufert loves them, or don't like them. I don't like them at all.
Do you like, and I know that people's going to laugh at me when I say it because I can't pronounce it right.
What?
Because I'm from Ball Ground, Georgia.
He's from Ball Ground, Georgia, y'all.
And proud of it.
And proud of it.
But do you like pears?
Pears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like pears. Do you like pears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pear preserves.
Pear preserves, yeah, I do. My granny used to make pear preserves, and pear preserves are one of those all-night things. You get your dishpan full of pears, and you let them sit in the sugar overnight, and then you cook, and you cook them down. That is a lost art. There's so many things that you women sitting out there in your 20s and your 30s, I bet you've never done. We hope to teach you some of that today. My weekend consisted of going by and looking at the garden on Saturday and looking at your daddy's garden, and we played a little trivia with y'all on Facebook, and within
From inside the car, I might add.
From inside the air-conditioned car. In about 2 minutes, I had 2 replies on there who knew that we were at Farmer Crossing, is that right?
Yeah.
In Ball Ground Crossing. What is that, a creek?
Yeah, it's a
that
little
used to go to
spring.
the old dam that provided power for
I guess eventually it gets down to the dam.
to Cherokee County.
About 3 miles away.
But to Cherokee County?
Yeah, for Ball Ground, yeah.
And in what year did
Not
that
Cherokee
happen?
County, but Ball Ground.
What year did that happen?
Wow. The early 1900s or maybe late 1800s till about, I know Grandma said that she remembers going down there as a child and actually spending the night in the dam, and a storm come up and lightning, and it hit all those
Transformers?
Yeah, down there, and it lit up. She said she was afraid to go spend the night down there anymore, but she was born in 1918, so I would say that was in early 1920. So I don't know when Georgia Power bought them out. I don't know.
But in Ball Ground, if you sit in Grandma's old house, they said your grandpa could see to the area where the lights would go on and off, and if something went wrong, he would walk back down there and turn them back on. Is that right?
No, he would work at the dam, and you couldn't see the town of Ball Ground from the dam.
Okay.
But when at night, when he'd get ready to go home, he would walk up on top of the ridge and look out over the town of Ball Ground. And a few times it happened that there was no lights, and he'd have to go back down there and see what the problem was. And Grandma said that he said that there was eels got in the wheel.
Ooh.
And stopped the generating of power.
Okay, speaking of creepy crawly things, last night we had some supper, and Dawn and Lonnie had killed a hog, and I thought we were having ground pork, and we weren't. And then you sent her a message and thanked her for it, and she said, what was it?
And this morning I said, thank you for the potato salad and the the possum patty.
Yeah, and we're not sure what it was, but it was really, really good. But there are people who watch us who have eaten squirrel dumplings and loved them. I'm not one of those people. But a lot of folks still like the old-timey cooking. And today we have some ladies who will talk to you about old-timey cooking. Making hominy is an old-timey thing. Now, I think making hominy is a whole lot of trouble. I remember going to Big Star grocery store in Canton, and you could buy a case of hominy for 18 cents a can. 18 cents a can versus standing there and cooking that stuff all day, yeah, I might buy the hominy. But it is becoming a lost art, and we want to share a little bit about this, and then we go back to this can. This is not a pretty can, but it's a very smart can. Because in 1 hour, if you can produce 5 bushels of green beans, that's pretty awesome. I wonder how many cans 5 bushels would do. Over 100, over 150 maybe? I don't know, maybe Joyce will call and tell us, but Joyce Bryson was going to be with us today with her can of beans, but she wasn't feeling well, so
But when it's in glass,
good
you
day
see how
wishes to
pretty
her.
it is.
Yeah, I
What'd
like
you
the
say this
glass.
was?
It looks to me like soup beans. Looks to me
That's
like
what
we
I
need to
thought.
open that and eat the pear relish with it. And has anybody got any crackling cornbread? Are we going to give them that recipe?
Well, sure we are.
Now, y'all, I told you about it, and I told you put pork skins in it, and people thought I was crazy. But you use cornmeal, and I use a big old dollop of Blue Plate mayonnaise. I put an egg in mine, and I put milk, and I stir it all up, and then I crunch, because here, the secret ingredient.
I don't crunch. No, I don't
I
crunch.
barely do, though. I break them in half.
I just break them in half
Okay.
and put them in there.
Well, I just do it in my hand like that.
Because
so.
if you do that, it's going to,
Mushy?
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of break them in half with my hands. But y'all, it is as good as cracklings of any kind you ever bought. Go buy yourself some meat skins, some pork skins for $1 at the dollar store. Do you remember the brand? A bargain. Oh, it's a
I
bargain.
don't guess it matters.
No.
Pork skin or pork skins.
Pork skins are pork skins, but this makes great cornbread to go with the soup beans, to go with the soup mix, to go with the pear relish. That's a great supper, and it's on a budget. The ladies we're going to talk to today.
And say, and when you eat it, say, boy, I'm glad Freddy thought of that.
That's right, Freddy's idea. The ladies today are going to teach you, many of them have had a garden for years to feed their families and to make ends meet. And a lot of folks today are doing things to make ends meet. Whether you are going to a food pantry, whether you are producing your own food, no matter what you're doing, today we are eating differently. If you go to the grocery store, you will find, I think Dawn said cucumbers were 3 for $1, which is, to me that's 33 cents a piece, and you can produce a dish pan of cucumbers for just a few seeds. So you have to outweigh, do you have the time to do it? Do you want to do it? Do you like sweating? And I got to tell this, and this is the truth. A lady said today on Facebook, we were talking about gardening, and I said, oh, I remember it was a family affair. It sure was. My husband and my kids were sitting on his daddy's porch rocking, and they were all rocking and talking and visiting, and I'm out in the garden picking and sweating and dying of a heat stroke, and I walked back by them. I walk into the porch to go to his daddy's back porch to get a dipper and get a drink of water.
Well, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I hear one of the kids say, what she's ill about. And I thought, you little idiot, you should have been out there helping me hoe, and you know why I'm so ill. Gardening is hard. It is hard. But it is also a labor of love.
Go by 671 Old Dawsonville Road and see who's sitting on the porch now.
Rocking. Well, I learned from the best. Them kids taught me. Gardening is a labor of love, and we hope today to inspire you.
I might not be in the garden, but I'll be in that old house.
Working. He's tearing down walls, tearing up floors, jerking out this, jerking out that, and I'm really enjoying that front porch. And you know that chair rocks real good even on those uneven boards. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, if you adjust it right, it does.
Yeah, if you adjust it right, it does.
It's nice and peaceful and quiet.
It is. When life is simple, life seems to be better. And I think
Watching
today,
the garden grow.
Yeah, today the women that we're going to bring on are going to teach you a little bit about a simple life. Life doesn't have to be the big to-do. And this cabbage, to me, will probably bring more pleasure to the person who grew it than a big diamond ring would to a lot of people, because that's a labor of love. And you started with, I don't know how you plant cabbage. Oh,
And
yes, I do.
It don't cost near as much as a diamond
No,
ring.
it doesn't. Cabbage comes from little slips.
And
Is
it
that
makes your
Hader?
belly feel a lot better than a diamond ring would, too.
Can y'all tell he's not a big diamond fan? Yes, you can. This weekend, we stayed very close to Ball Ground in Jasper. Didn't go far at all, but we had a good weekend. We hope you had a good weekend. It was hotter than Hades. Oh, it was hot. And some people got some rain. If your garden's got rain, then the good Lord was looking out for you, because many gardens are drying up. We're going to talk to these ladies, too, about If it doesn't rain, do you water your garden? How do you keep it? Do you stand there and watch it wither and die, or do you give in and do the watering thing? So we're going to talk about that. Got a lot to talk about, and I hope they will teach you some very smart tricks about canning, about cooking, about preserving, and maybe Dawn will tell us what that was we ate last night. Reckon? Maybe she will.
She don't know.
She don't know, but we know it wasn't possum, so there you go. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to take a break. We're going to pay for what we do here, and remember our sponsors. And remember, I'll tell you something you can't plant in a garden. You cannot plant pizza, but you can go right over here to Papa's, and you can have you a chocolate pizza, and it's as good as any pan of fried corn you ever had, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep, it is. We'll be back in just a second. We're back. We're getting happier. We're getting closer to food time, aren't we, Freddy?
Yep.
Okay, now we're welcoming Dorothy Hightower, Broken Ground. Y'all have to recognize her. You've seen her sing. She writes amazing songs. Miss Loyce Chastain, who brought us some homemade hominy. And she made the mistake of telling us how hard it was, and it just scared me to death. It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a lot of work. And then Dawn Fountain, who is the newest farmer of this group. Now, Dawn, how many years have you been having a garden?
I think this is my 3rd year.
Okay.
Isn't it 3 or 4?
I think this is 4. I think this makes 4. Okay, the lady at the end taught you a lot about what you know about gardening.
Yes, she did.
Do you have dueling gardens? Your gardens are like this, side by side. Dorothy, do y'all sneak out there at night and see who's doing better?
I've got too many other things going on to even worry about it.
Jerry snuck out there and stole one of my cabbage while we were gone.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, now Dorothy, you grow because you wanted to feed your family. You've always had a garden, had you?
Yes.
Okay, how many years have you been gardening?
All my life, I guess.
Did you learn from your mom?
Yes, she is 83 years old. She has a garden.
Wow.
And you can't stop her. And I'm glad she's that way about it. She has a passion about it. She has a passion about canning. And then she's got 10 kids, and she wants to take it and give it away then. And we've all got our own gardens, you know.
Right. Now, Lois told us about a lady who also is 80 and has a garden. Tell me about her.
It's my Aunt Evelyn Oliver,
Uh-huh.
and she's in a wheelchair, but she has neighbors and friends and her son-in-law and family.
Uh-huh.
They still make her gardens and bring it in, and she cans hundreds of cans every year.
And she does it this way, doesn't
Yes,
she? The glass
in
jars.
the glass jars.
There's
Yes,
something
ma'am.
about walking into a pantry and seeing these, you just feel proud. You just feel proud.
Evelyn still has the dirt cellar
Uh-huh.
under her house, and it is amazing to walk in her cellar and see what all she's canned.
Now, we're going to tell something about these beans because, and Dawn will know this story. Once upon a time, somebody gave me some green beans in 1992 that had been canned since 1984. They were absolutely fine. And one of the kids was going to throw them away. There were like 6 cases of beans, and my late husband saw them in the dumpster and jerked them out and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, those beans are too old to eat." The beans had been canned 13 years, and they were fine. I gave away, we ate out of them, and they were absolutely fine. These things will last forever. Now, do these last longer than the glass jars?
No.
Or do they last about the same?
About the same.
Dorothy was just telling
Glass
the
jars
story
last.
about somebody. How old were they? 40 or 50
They
years
were
old?
close to 50 years old. My sister had moved in a renter house, and she said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And we went out to the little shack out back that it had there, and there was some of those blue cans. And you know how the old lids were
Oh,
with
yeah.
the little glass plate in it and the rubber seal. It was canned like that. And on the top it had 48 written on it. And I said, "These are just beautiful." And I said, "I want to open one." And we opened it. And it smelled just as fresh, just as good as my green beans. And here they are, nearly 50 years old at that time.
That is amazing.
And it was wonderful to me to see something like that when people think, "Well, I need to throw this away." And you just really don't have to do that.
Right.
And they claim over years that it'll lose a little bit of its food value. That's what I have read. But they taste the same to me.
And as long as the seal is intact, that's the thing. The seal has to be intact, so always check your seals and make sure they're good. Now, my favorite part of canning is to get all the canning done and go to bed and lay there and listen. It goes ping, 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 and you're going, oh gosh, I did 36 cans, only 34 sealed, and you have to run in there and check. So that is, it is almost a sign of success because you're like,
Have you
wow.
ever done the pressure cooker thing or
I-
whatever you call that thing that
Right.
might blow up and
Yes, blew
splatter all
the
over?
top of my ceiling out. Yes, I did. I
What were
learned
you-
to watch it.
What were you canning?
Green beans. Yeah, yeah. I did learn that. Now, do y'all pressure can or do you cold pack? How do you do it?
Both.
Both. Okay. I used to cold pack beans, and that's a 4-hour process. That's a lot of work, isn't it? That's a lot of work. Now, Dawn, tell us about this kraut, because I would never go to the trouble to make kraut, but you make it all the time, and somebody at your house loves it.
Every night, Lonnie has to have kraut on his plate. The process of it, I put it in my food processor on shredding. Then pack those all the way full, almost to the top. Pack it down as hard as I can, and then take a butter knife, stick it down in the center, and bore a hole out. Put a tablespoon of salt, and then slowly fill it up with water. Slow,
Warm or cold water?
cold. And then seal it, put the lid on, and put it somewhere dark. Those
Is
I
it
have
going to
9
bother this because we've got it in the light?
I don't know, it's processing now, and I had them under my bed.
Okay.
So,
Now, have you ever had a failure at canning? Have you ever done something that you thought was going to be great and it didn't work?
yeah,
Since you're
pickles,
just learning
a lot.
pickles. Yeah. Pickles
The
are one of
problem
those
with
things.
pickles.
Now, Dawn, hand me that jar. We want to show
Before
this.
you go any further, you say that's still processed, and
Yeah.
so you can't eat that right now? Till
How
when?
many
How long?
weeks?
When did I do that? A week ago?
A week ago.
So I would wait 5 or 6 weeks.
Oh, I didn't know you had to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still working.
And it is working, and it will continue to work, and then it'll lose some of the liquid, won't it?
It'll actually expand and just about take
Fill
that
the
off
jar?
the top. Yeah.
Well, this is, if you watched Friday's show, you saw that we had a huge dishpan of cucumbers that Dawn raised. And from plowing the garden to the seed to picking it to Gail processing this on Saturday morning, this is sweet pickles that you use either on hot dogs or you use it in potato salad or in deviled eggs. So
That would
good.
be
And this
good.
is the simplest recipe. And we're going to share this recipe with folks. I'm going to get it and put it on the website on heartofthehomerecipes.com. But this is basically cucumbers, onions, sugar, vinegar,
Sugar. So
vinegar.
it's sweet. It's not
very
dill.
sweet. No, it's very sweet, but it is so good, and it's good on hot dogs. And then she bought this little chopper in town that she said, you know those commercials, those infomercials that says, as seen on TV?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the local stores sells them, so you need to get you one of
I
these.
have to
but
have
this
one.
is so cool.
And that's what I thought you were talking about a while ago when you were saying that you helped her.
No, this is the one. Now, this is a lot
I've
of
made
trouble.
that.
Pear relish is my favorite canning thing to make. Dorothy, have you ever made pear relish?
No. I've got pear trees.
Okay.
I
Well,
have
honey,
from her pears,
Okay.
actually.
the old-timey pears, onions, bell pepper, your spices, vinegar, and sugar. And this is good on a hot dog. This is good on soup beans. This is good in turnip greens. Now, turnip green queen. This is so good in turnip greens.
Never heard of it.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is amazing. And this is from the old-timey pears, and the other pears won't work.
Didn't you say that Ralph Ray eats that
Eats
on
it
a
out
hot
of the
dog?
jar. Yeah. Oh yeah. Eats it on a hot dog.
Yeah.
Refrigerate them. Yes, refrigerate after you break the seal on these. If you, like my
Was
pear
that
relish.
the question?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Somebody called and wanted to know, once you break the seal, you either use it all that night. Like, Dorothy, now tell me about these soup beans.
Well, I like beans. They're very good for you, very nutritious. They've got
Protein.
everything that you need that's in meat. It's in
You don't
these
eat meat
beans.
much.
Right.
And
So-
I'm not, I've got to have my protein. I love beans.
Uh-huh.
And you don't always have time to cook them. So I decided, I want to can some.
Right.
I couldn't find it in my canning book, some things that you can't. And, and you go asking people that's older than you that's done these things. And,
Uh-huh.
and I couldn't really find anybody. So I went ahead and I cooked my beans, thoroughly cooked them, just had 2 huge pots of the white beans and the pintos. They got done. I mixed them together. After they were cooked, I took them and put them in cans, and I processed them for 30 minutes in
Okay,
cans.
okay.
I did that last year and this year as well, and they have all stayed sealed, and they're just
Wow.
like
And
eating
have
fresh beans.
And have you seasoned? Did you
Wow.
season them with anything then, or do you
Yes.
season them when you?
You can do either, but I usually season mine and just get them ready to eat. But there's one thing I don't do that a lot of people do, and my mother-in-law taught me this. She doesn't put salt in like her soup and her beans and her green beans and stuff because it lasts longer. You know, the cans that I was talking about, you know, that lasted that long. If you don't put salt in them, it won't rust the lids.
Oh, wow.
And
Good
so
idea. Yeah.
I season them everything except for the salt, and that's to preserve the lid on it to keep it longer without it rusting.
Right. Now, we were talking about pickles, and Dawn has failed at pickles. I failed at pickles. I don't do good, crunchy pickles. Lois, do you have a recipe that's really good pickles?
The best recipe I've got is the yellow squash pickles. And I have tried every pickle recipe, and I can't make them.
What is the
don't
trick?
turn out.
Yeah.
But if I use the yellow squash recipe for pickled yellow squash and substitute the squash with cucumbers, perfect every time.
Isn't that strange?
And
Now,
you can put them in the blender and blend them up, and they make the best for potato salad and deviled eggs and stuff.
right.
But those yellow squash pickle recipe, and just
try
use
that.
cucumbers instead.
Did you bring a recipe? Can I tell people how simple it is?
For the yellow
Yeah,
squash?
so I can give them just the ingredients, and then we'll post these on my website.
Let me see.
We'll just have to
Hominy.
do
I
that.
love hominy. And you
Now-
don't, do you?
No, and I want
I
I'm
want
gonna
that
ask
jar of
Lois-
hominy.
Yeah, can I give Dawn this jar of hominy? Ever since I told her about it, she's run me crazy wanting to know
Is
about
that it? Yeah.
This is hominy. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about, Lois, tell us the process,
neat.
because to me it's way too much trouble, but if you love it, it will be great.
Well, now you've got to have big white field corn
Okay?
and let it dry
Okay.
on the ear.
Now let's show a close-up of this, because it does not look like store-bought hominy.
No, it don't.
But
No,
it
it don't
is
taste
a
like it
lot
either.
of trouble.
It don't?
Yeah,
She
No.
gonna finish now?
yeah, go ahead.
And you
I've never ate any.
you take the big white field corn
Uh-huh.
and shell it, and you put it in a big pot and fill the pot about half full of corn. Finish filling it with water, and then you just pour it full of soda, baking soda,
Okay.
and bring it to a rolling boil, and it'll turn blood red.
Why does it
And-
do that?
I don't know.
The
whether- I
starch
don't
in
know.
I don't know.
I guess, but it'll turn blood red, and you boil it for a little while, 15 minutes, and then you rinse it. Put it back on the stove, fill it back full of water, bring it to a rolling boil, boil it 5 or 10, 15 minutes, rinse it again, and you rinse it till all of the husk and the little hearts, each grain has a little heart, and those little hearts will come out and the husk will come off, and you put it back on and bring it to a boil, and then you rinse it till all of those little hearts and husks and the water runs clear. Then you fill your jar just about half or a little over half full of corn, and finish filling it up with water. And you process the quarts 70 minutes and the pints 60 minutes.
So when you filled this, it was about half full.
Yes.
And it finishes processing in the bath you're giving
Yes,
it. Okay.
it swells on up
Okay.
in and it'll
Have
swell
you
your
ever
jar
seen anything
full.
like that?
No, I've never
Well,
heard
there's your
that.
supper.
She
Yeah,
said
if
it's
you put
totally
too much,
different.
it'll swell it up and bust your jars.
Okay.
But
Have you
you
ever
fill it-
done that? Have you ever
I have
busted a jar?
occasionally,
Yeah.
but I try not to because it's too much work to lose
Yes,
a grain of
I
it.
know. Well, it is a learning art. I mean, a lot of people, you've canned because you learned how from your mom. You canned because you learned how from family members. You canned because you learned from Dorothy, but you also saw me can out of necessity. I used to can because, to be quite honest, we didn't have food on the table if I didn't have a garden. So I canned out of necessity. I wonder how many people this year will be canning because they really need the food on their table. I think this year will be a year a lot of people will be doing their first time gardens.
Yeah, there's a lot of gardens this year.
A lot of gardens. Okay, watering your garden, because y'all have both stressed Ludwell doesn't get much rain. Y'all said it goes all around you, everywhere except
All
Ludwell.
ground ain't getting much either.
No. So what do you do? Do you stand and watch your garden go to waste, or do you try to water? How do you handle that?
Sometimes I water mine. But somebody told me the other day that if you start that, then you have to keep doing it.
Right.
So it's better not to. If you can
To
hold
let the
out
good Lord just provide
and
you with
not,
whatever you're going
don't
to
you
get.
think so, Dorothy? Just don't do it.
That's the way we do it because our garden is so big. I mean, it's just not reality. But what I do is, you know, we've got our big garden, but we've got smaller gardens all around our house. Like got tomatoes in it or a little watermelon patch, you know, different things.
Right.
And if they're close to the water and everything, our watering hose and stuff, there's a few things like tomato plants that we will water. But for the main garden, we just leave it alone and let nature take its course. And if
Right.
God wills us food, then we take care of it and put it on the table.
That's right. And I think that's what this is all about. Now, Dawn, you love blackberries, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, this is my last quart of blackberries. These are like valuable, valuable commodity. But I've seen that the blackberry vines are full this year. I mean, everywhere. So how would you buy blackberries? Dorothy, do you get out and pick them, or do you find somebody in the market bulletin who sells them?
I'd rather pick them. You know, Sarah mentioned that yesterday. She said, are the blackberries, are they gone yet? And I said, no.
No,
She
not
said,
yet.
She said, it really bothers me if I miss that because I did that as a child. I picked the blackberries. And you know, that's a lot of things. I don't know if anybody else does or not, but my family, like if someone had an upset stomach or diarrhea or something like
Blackberry
that,
juice,
they would
yeah.
drink that juice. And that we would actually use that not just for food, but for medicine as well.
Do you not get chiggers easy?
Oh, yeah, but, you know, I try to, you know, like if you use that skin so soft and stuff like that, my husband says I don't get chiggers, so he's the main one that should be out there picking them.
There you go.
Have you ever tied kerosene rags around your legs when you're doing blackberries?
No,
I
that's
hadn't
what
tried
Granny
that.
Harris used to do that. Yeah, Granny Harris used to do
I'm
that.
sure that would work.
She said it did. So, now, okay, Lois, how many jars do you think you've canned in your lifetime?
Oh my goodness, Cherie.
500?
No, way
5,000?
more than that. The first
Yeah,
year I did
probably
300,
thousands.
so
Thousands
Together.
of jars. And do you share them with your neighbors? Because to me, the greatest gift you can give somebody is this right here. Line you up about 5 of these, put them in a gift basket.
Yes, I do.
You know,
Trying to cover my
to
face.
me, it's a great gift. It
A
is
lot
a
of
great
times it-
gift.
Christmas, I'll give my children a basket of
Right.
canned vegetables and fruits.
And it's really given from your
and
heart,
they love
isn't
that.
it? Yeah. Now, do your children can and grow, and did they learn from Mama?
My daughter does.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
She cans everything. Yeah. I was 15 years old when I married,
Wow.
and my mother-in-law had 15 children. And so when you married into that family, you worked.
Oh,
you
yeah.
learned.
Oh, yeah.
And so she taught me to can everything that you can think of.
what about meat?
And she canned
Yes.
chicken, she canned turkey, she always canned the hog because they didn't have a freezer. And she canned the hog. And we canned the sausage, and that was a cooking process all day long.
Right.
You fried that sausage and put it in the jars and sealed it. And
Did you turn it upside down to seal it? Do
Yes,
I remember
ma'am.
that? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that way the grease runs down and keeps it hot and it seals better.
Right.
And she would can the other meat, and each child liked different parts of the pork. So she would try to put a piece of each piece of the pork into the half-gallon jars.
Wow.
So there'd be a piece of meat that each child liked, whether it was tenderloin or ham or liver. She put a piece of each part of the meat in each jar.
Don't you think those 15 kids have some great memories of things their mom did like that?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, and those are memories that you can't buy. You can't buy. Now, the things that Dorothy taught you, you could not learn except by watching an example. You know, you have to have somebody who shows you. Who showed you how to make kraut?
Lonnie did. His dad taught him. He
Okay.
was the big kraut eater, too.
Okay. Now, what
So
about
Lonnie did.
pickled beans? Because some people love pickled beans. They absolutely gag me to death. I can't stand to look at them. I can't stand to
Oh,
get
my
near them. I
goodness.
can't stand them.
Pickled green beans?
Pickled green beans.
Yes.
But
made some last
people
year.
love them. They love them. Now, Dorothy, do you make pickled green beans?
No, my mom used to. I can't stand them either. My family didn't like them.
so funny.
If my family's not going to eat them, I'm not fixing them. If they like them, I'll fix them for them.
Now, Lois, do you like pickled green beans?
Yes, I do, but
Yeah.
I put pickled corn
Okay.
in mine too.
Okay.
I mix them. I'm not crazy about pickled beans by themselves,
Uh-huh.
but I like pickled beans and pickled corn together. So I mix mine.
Now, I don't know if you'll remember, but when you were little, I did pickled beets one time. And everything in our kitchen was purple. I mean, you talk about a mess. You talk about a mess. And I grew the beets, and I used the beet greens to make juice, and I was going to be so productive. When I got through with these beets, now I go in the grocery store and I buy me a jar of pickled beets. That is one thing I will never do again. That is a lot of trouble. Some of the stuff is really a lot of trouble and a lot of work. Now, what about turnip greens? Do you freeze them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. But they're really better canned.
They are?
Yeah.
I've never
can
canned
'em all
turnip
the
greens.
time.
Now, tell me how you would can turnip greens.
You just wilt them down, put them on the stove in a cooker and wilt them down so they'll pack more to a jar.
Right.
And then I don't remember exactly how long I processed them, but I know you put them on the stove and wilt them down and then put them in the jars and process them, but I don't remember how long.
Right. Now, that's something I haven't seen in your garden. Do you ever do turnip greens?
No.
No. Dorothy, do you do turnip greens?
Yes, we always have a little patch. My husband will plant it, like around August, somewhere around there. And then, I have canned some turnip greens as well. And it's easier if you kind of chop those up, and you can fit them in your cans better and stuff and get more in there.
Right.
Let's talk about squash.
Okay.
Get Dorothy to tell everybody, because she taught me how to. Is this some of yours, Dorothy?
That's squash pickles there.
Okay.
That's pickled squash.
Let's talk about canning squash.
A lot of
because
people
squash
have-
is very plentiful.
A lot of people have trouble canning it. I've talked to a
He
whole
was
bunch of
showing
people.
up close.
Okay.
But Dorothy, you can tell her how to do the squash.
How do you do the squash?
So simple.
The way that I fix it, I cold pack it, and you pack just as much squash as you can get in there. You just keep packing it
Just
in
the
there.
slices of squash
Right.
in a jar.
Right.
She told me once you think you can't get another one in there, put one more in there anyway.
Just all you can get in that jar. And don't put any water in it. And that flips
No
everybody
water.
out. But see, squash has got water in it anyway.
Right.
It's just a big water vegetable, And then when you do it that way, then you don't have to drain water off of it. And so many people don't know, there's things that you can use squash with, like there's squash, you can make squash patties.
Right.
I've actually put it in broccoli casseroles
Oh,
before.
yeah.
And there's many things you can do. You can even put it in the oven, and bake it and put little seasonings on it. And there's squash dressing. I fixed that for my husband. He likes dressing. And he says it's really good. I don't eat dressing, but
Okay, now you said that you basically you fill the jar with the squash with no liquid in it.
Right.
You seal it and then you cold pack it for 4 hours.
no.
No, you don't do anything to it?
You actually put it in your canner.
In your
Pressure
and,
processor. Okay.
and I think it's 30 minutes on it.
Okay. Okay.
30 minutes for a quart.
Is it usually
for a
15
quart.
pounds of pressure or 10?
10.
10 pounds of pressure. I think that's when I blew mine up. I put it on, I flipped that little lid. It's supposed to be on 10 pounds of pressure. I put 15 and boom, there it went. So, dangers of canning. Okay, have you ever blown up a canner?
No, the thing about it is with me, I had the ones with a dial on it. I've got one now that has the little jiggler that's
Yes,
safer.
that's what I got. Yeah.
But I've got so used to use the ones with a dial, and I know who I am and what I am. I'm bad to forget. So when I've got a canner on, I'm in the kitchen and I'm watching that thing until it'll finally stabilize. You turn it down a little at a time. When you get it on, it gets on 10-pound pressure, you start cutting your dial down on your stove. You've got it on high and you've got it up there. You start cutting it down a little at a time, because if you don't, it'll drop back down real quick. So you turn it down a little at a time, and it'll finally stabilize. And when it gets stabilized, it'll stay there on that 10-pound pressure. And so you just keep your eye on it. And, don't let everything, if you're going to can.
Right.
Forget about everything else.
Yeah.
Right.
I just run the kids out of the kitchen and go to it.
Leave it alone, leave it alone. Now, I want to share Lois's recipe. This is a squash pickle recipe, and I love squash pickles, but I tried to make them, and mine were not really good. They were edible, but nothing you would say that's really, really good. So let's try this one. It's 4 quarts of squash, green bell pepper, pimentos. I would never have thought about putting pimentos in it. A 1/4 cup of salt, onions. So you've got squash, onions, things that'll be coming out of the garden except for the pimentos. And then you need vinegar, celery seed, turmeric, mustard seed. Very, very simple, and it looks like it would be easy to do. 5 cups of sugar. But you didn't bring us any of those pickles, did you?
No, they don't
Now,
last
Dorothy,
long
does that
at my
kind of
house.
compare to the ingredients of yours?
Yes.
Okay.
It sure does.
Now,
you know,
those are pimentos and peppers. So this recipe kind of will, is that kind of what it would look like, Loyce?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So there you go. And if you, squash is going to be plentiful this year, isn't it?
We are going to have
Oh, I
lots
ate some
and
good
lots
fried
of
squash the other night.
Oh, he did eat some good fried squash. Y'all grew it and I cooked it and it was yummy. Now, you're going to have a lot of vegetables for sale. You produce more than your family can possibly eat.
Right.
And you do that, and it is truly a labor of love. I mean, you had, was it 7 days ago you got out there and got too hot in the middle of the day? We thought she'd had a heat stroke. So now we're going to give warnings about gardening. Don't do what she did, because you really got too hot, didn't you?
Right, yeah.
And keep yourself hydrated, and don't be out there in the middle of the day. You know, do it early morning or late evening, because it is, in this kind of weather, this is probably the hottest June we've seen in a long time. It's really dangerous. It's really dangerous. And wait until the cool of the evening. Of course, the cool of the evening's 90 degrees, but it beats 95. So, now this is something that Dawn eats by the jarful. And
my
Hans
daughter
Rufert,
loves it.
and Hans Rufert eats it by the jarful. And Ansley loves it. Now, this is pickled squash.
No okra.
Okra, yeah, okra.
That don't look like no squash
Oh, no,
that
it's
I've
okra.
ever seen.
Okay, this is something else I don't like, but I want you
You
to tell
don't?
me the process.
Oh, Dorothy, you tell it. Vinegar and water.
Yeah, it's just like making pickles, just like making the pickled squash, you know. And some people put a hot pepper in them and some don't. And, you know, it just depends on what you like. If you like them to be heated up, you can put just one little piece of hot pepper in there. But you just cold pack them and you
Dill.
just pour your,
You have dill in it?
yes,
Okay.
Dill.
and then you just pour your hot liquid, you know, your vinegar and your sugar and your everything, and you pour it over that and you know, put it in the boiling water process, as they call it, you know. After
Right,
that's
and I call that a cold pack, yeah, okay.
I've ever ate one.
Now, this, you will either love it or hate it, and it just wasn't my thing, but do you
don't
like
like
it, Dorothy?
it, no.
See, me and
Cherie
Dorothy could
does.
eat supper together. Me
You
and
like
Dorothy.
boiled okra?
I like okra, tomatoes, and onions cooked together, but I can't eat just boiled okra.
I like it fried.
But I could
Well, I
eat,
can eat it like in vegetable soup.
yes, me too. But I could
Oh,
eat
yeah.
a dish pan this big of fried okra. Fried
I
okra.
love it.
Okay, if you planted a garden, the first things you will get in the bounty will be squash and cucumbers and cabbage.
Right.
And then will come on tomatoes, is that right?
We're eating tomatoes out of our garden because we cheated. We went to Walmart and got us a couple of those early girls that was already had blooms on them and set them out. So we're already eating tomatoes out of our garden. And that
Wow.
usually, and you know, like I've got some that I set out. I actually had some to come up from seed from last year, where that I had planted them in a certain bin that I had, and it was a special seed that I wanted to save. And that's a good thing about gardening too. A lot of people don't know. You can save the seeds as long as, you know, they're the heirloom type. You don't want to, you can't save the hybrid type.
Really?
But you save your own seeds, and you don't have to bother with whatever it is that you like. You save it till next year and plant it. And that's what
Okay.
I do with tomatoes. And
Now, do you lay your seeds on a paper towel and let them dry, and
Yeah.
then, yeah, so that's a good
That's what I
way.
need to learn to do. We
Yeah.
spent a lot of money this year on seeds.
Right, well, that's what we're going to talk about next. The cost of a garden. So far, the Ball Ground Garden has cost $500. And about 18 to 20 hours of labor, if I've got it calculated pretty close.
Maybe.
About 18 to 20 hours of labor, $500 so far. That's seeds, fertilizer, cages
That's not
for the
counting a couple of things, though. It's not counting
cages
getting
for
it
the
plowed.
tomatoes and the plowing. That's right. So over $600 so far to have. Would you say that's 3/4 of an acre? Maybe. Maybe. You think it's about 3/4 of an acre?
Maybe. But next year we won't have to buy tomato cages.
Right.
That's a one-time buy. But everything else, yeah, I've got to learn how to.
Keep seeds.
seeds.
Now, Loyce, do you keep seeds year after year so you have your own?
How much?
No. No.
My daughter does.
Uh-huh.
And Evelyn, my Aunt Evelyn, she saves seeds.
Yeah. That's a good idea, and I've seen people put their seeds in the freezer. Is that right, Dorothy? Can you
Yes,
do
you
that?
can do
Yeah,
that.
so they
What I
don't get
saved
moldy.
is in the freezer.
Right. So that's a good idea. Now talk about peppers, because bell peppers in the grocery store are not bad if you buy the green ones. They're not too expensive, but if you buy the red and yellow, have y'all ever grown red or yellow peppers?
yes.
They're expensive in the store. Are they hard to grow?
No, they're just like the other bell peppers, you know, and a lot of them are green, and then they'll turn color, later on, and it's just, they're really simple to grow. They really are.
Why are they more expensive?
I have some planted
Because
at
they're
ball ground.
colorful.
Yeah.
I think.
You have some planted?
Yeah.
Well, I got up to the cash register one day to buy 3 peppers, and it was a red one, a yellow one, and a green one, and the lady said, that's $9.27, and I said, do what? And I put them back. I put them back because it was like $3.99 for the red, $3.99 for the yellow, and then the green one was something ridiculous. And I said, I don't think so. And I was actually going to make, it was my first experimental this. And I didn't want to buy many because I was going to try this recipe. And this, y'all, if you've got an old-timey pear tree, ha, my Lord.
Dorothy said she did it.
It's
You
like-
got one.
She does.
One pear
Liquid
tree,
gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it
It's
has a lot
full.
of pears on it.
Full.
It's full this
loaded.
year.
They're
Yay!
just hanging.
I'm
They're
excited.
delicious.
And I planted a pear tree this year too, so.
Well, it is, you're saving your family money. You gotta feel pride. When you set your table with Sunday dinner and you know that you produced all this, you gotta feel good about it. You gotta feel good about it. And like Gail, this is the neatest recipe, and she just got this recipe last year, but we've eaten a whole bunch of these. And this is very simple to make, and it beats going in the store and buying sweet pickle relish. So there you go. And now this is something, I do know that this is pricey in the grocery store.
It is $4 or $5 for a jar
Yeah,
like
for a
that.
jar. So there you go. Now, okay, ladies, any tips you want to give a first-time gardener since this is your 4th year?
I don't know.
Lois, any tips?
Just wait till the frost is past so you don't have to do it twice.
Now, you gambled a little bit this year, didn't you? Y'all put out an extra early garden.
We did.
And we kept saying, oh, it may be a little early, but so far everything produced, didn't it?
The frost did get just a little bit of one of my fruit trees that we just planted, just a few leaves on it. The frost got it. So I'm amazed that it didn't get in the garden, but it didn't.
No. Now, potatoes. Y'all have dug up some potatoes. Have you dug your potatoes yet?
Yes.
Some of
Okay.
them. Have you dug all yours up?
No, we just dug some to eat.
To
We
eat,
leave them in the
us too.
ground, up until the vines completely die down.
Right.
And I've noticed, and you were talking about saving seed. We plant our potatoes from last year as well.
Right.
Sometimes we plant new potatoes, depending on if we eat them all and or everything. But you can plant your last year's potatoes that you've got left over. But our red ones that we planted this year, it seems like the vines is dying down on them quicker than the white ones did.
Really?
So I found that interesting because they don't usually do that.
Well, I put a picture of your homemade potato salad on Facebook, and I said potato salad from the garden, and some lady said, ha ha ha, how do you plant potato salad? And I said, well, you put the pickles in one row and the onions in one row, and then you set a jar of blue plate at the end of the garden.
Were those your pickles you had in your potato salad?
No.
No, but so many things you're doing are simple once you learn the technique. Now, Lois, tell me about these fig preserves. Is that hard to do?
No, I don't want to lose not one fig off the trees because they're so hard to grow here. So every time I pick them every morning and can what I pick that morning, and you just put a light syrup over them, and you can take them out and just eat the figs, or you can use the syrup over pancakes or over a biscuit or.
My mama would have just died and gone to heaven for a jar of fig preserves. She loved them.
Me
That was
too.
like her favorite thing.
Me too.
Loved them. And Hans Ruford actually made a pizza and put figs on it, and I thought that was just the weirdest thing I ever saw in my life, but he said it was great. So, now, protein value, Dorothy, you talked about your beans. Soup mix has a good variety. A lot of people are doing a vegetarian diet, and this is a great way to produce what you eat, isn't it?
It is, and the soup, if, I've got some that are meat eaters, and I do put a little bit of ground beef in my soup. It's in chunks in there. It's hard to see.
I see some of it.
And
yeah.
a lot of people, they do soup different from what I do, but what I actually do, when you know how you make a meatloaf and how you take milk and you put it in bread and soak up the milk and then you mix it with the meat. Okay, that's what I do, and I cook the meat and then I put it in with the soup mixture. At first I
She
drain
puts
it
the
really
bread.
well. And my kids, everybody's different about what they like, but my kids love that soup. They come and get it, just for supper sometimes.
Right, right. Well, this to
It's
me
good.
looks like a great menu. Looks like a great menu, doesn't it? And it's something that's all a labor of love. It's all a labor of love. Now, Broken Ground was, the name of the group came from your love of gardening, is that right?
It actually came from a song that I had written called Broken Ground. And, but actually when we did the CD of Broken Ground, we'd actually put vegetables out of our garden. We were holding just huge amounts of vegetables, you know, just on the front cover of that. But yes, that's what it was all about. You know, it ties right in with the Lord, you know. He tells you to break that fallow ground up, and that's how you get a harvest in, for your vegetables as well as your heart.
That's right, that's right. And to be able to share these things with your family and friends. And once again, we're going back to the economical way to do it, or the beautiful, beautiful way to do it. And I can tell you, if you live in Fannin County and you haven't visited the cannery, if you have not been canning, you need to do that. Because this is, if you have lots and lots of beans that are coming in at one time. Now, stringing beans. Who do you find to string your beans? Granny Gilreath always strung mine.
I know.
She's gone on to be with the Lord.
My kids, their
Okay.
friends.
Yeah, whoever you can get to sit down and string a bean. Are you going to have a lot of beans to sell?
I am going to have lots of beans.
Good, good. And corn. Now, let's talk about the different kinds of corn. Whitefield corn?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you plant?
And yellow corn.
And yellow corn?
We love Silver Queen to eat, but we, like she was talking about the field corn there, the Hickory King, we grind our own cornmeal. It is
Okay.
so delicious that people
Wow.
just, you forget about these things after a while buying it in the store. You can't compare it to what you get in the store. You just can't. And so we always plan it too.
Well, another day, another show. I had 50 pounds of home ground meal. I didn't know you had to sift it. And I did it, the whole thing. It had the husk and everything. Probably good for the fiber content. It didn't kill us. No, it didn't kill us, so it was pretty good. Ladies, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for this hominy, because this is something never seen homemade hominy. Now the world has seen homemade hominy, and Dawn gets to have this for supper.
Thank
She
you.
is the hominy girl, and it's one of those things, it's an acquired taste, and you love it.
She said it doesn't taste anything like what you buy at the store.
No, so you just add butter to it and heat it, and there you go. There you
can
go.
eat it right out the jar.
There
A lot
you
of
go.
people
I'm
just eat
hungry,
it
so
right
we may be going down the road eating hominy.
Thank you very much, ladies, for being here
welcome.
today. And we will share some recipes. I will find a way to get it to you. I may even have to put it on Facebook. Thank you for being with us today. And Farmer, you ready to go do a little bush hogging?
I'm ready to go eat some of this stuff.
I'd say he is. I'd say he is. From North Georgia Now today, we never say goodbye. We will say we will see you later, only on ETC. Don't forget, here comes my buddy, Rich Scott, in just a minute. He may have you another bush hogging job, reckon?
He might.
Check
You never
out
tell.
Trading Time. Check out Trading Time. From North Georgia Now today, I'm Cherie.
And I'm Freddy. Have a good day, and I'm going to eat.
Gravel road between your house and mine. I'd start walking your way. You'd start walking